Hi guys, and welcome back to Planet Coaster, where I'm attempting to build a Mario Galaxy ride. In the last episode I kinda completed the Sweet Sweet Galaxy section. There's a few changes I'd like to make, but I will do all that off camera. So in today's episode we are focusing on the FREEZEFLAME Galaxy section of the ride. So once we pass the launch star, I've put a screen where Mario shoots out simultaneously, so it's quite satisfying to pass by actually. So firstly, I tackled the main planet itself. In the game, the planet is basically two halves and a giant gap in the center. So I tried my best to imitate this in Planet Coaster using the terrain tools. It was a bit fiddly, but I'm pretty happy with the overall shape. I then painted it to be a rock-like texture. After I was happy with the base, I added some magma panels, which I later covered with rocks. I did this because in the game, the planet had like glowing lava cracks, and this was the only way that I thought this could be achieved in Planet Coaster. So I ended up covering the majority of the planet in rocks, and now it kind of looks like a deep fried piece of chicken. But once some other bits are added, it all ends up coming together. I then added various effects such as lava splashes and lights both on the ground and on the ceiling of this little planet. I added a little spaceship over it too, and then focused on the star panels to enclose this area. I wanted to include a mini reference to another planet, being the Deep Dark Galaxy, I think, which is basically the little planet you go on with the palm trees and the boxes. Yet again, it was a bit of a struggle to get this to be a perfect sphere, and it is very far from that. But I added various little details such as a Mario figure, some star bits and a Goomba. I decided to add a couple of rings of light that we go through, not for any particular reason, just thought they looked cool. I then turned my attention to the rest of the galaxy, so I started off by making a hot rocky area filled with plenty of flowing lava and lava splashes, smoke, pokies and blocks. I slowly transitioned into an icy section of this area, so I used snow pieces and ice rocks, as well as dry ice and snow effects. So in my head I had it so I had the dark rocks and then they slowly fade into the cold rocks. I then made a little level-like section with a launch star and some Goombas with a pipe to show how Mario would actually reach this area. I then added some icy looking Mario hills to finish off the ending of this section. Later on, I added some toad chips and works on the night lighting. So lots of reds and oranges to cool blues and whites. I also have the soundtrack when you're on the ride change from the hot theme of the galaxy to the cold theme as we transition from one area to the other. Lastly, I worked on a section that is literally plucked straight out of the game. It's basically when you can skate over the ice whilst avoiding the fire. I found this cool fireball thing on the Steam Workshop and it works perfectly for this. So basically, to make the base, I used art shapes, wow, oh my gosh, to make a ring, and that was set to a blue colour. I then duplicated these to give it some thickness, and I then used rocks to cover up both the inner bit of the shape and the outer part of the shape so you don't see any edges. I then turned the whole thing over and done the same thing on the other side, except this time I made the art shapes a red colour to symbolise the top part being ice and the bottom part being lava. So I then used, as you'd expect, more lava effects, and I placed the giant balls of fire around in certain positions so it looks like Mario would have to avoid them whilst he's skating. I then added some finishing touches such as piles of snow and crystals that Mario can smash, as well as some coins and some Goombas. Overall, I'm really happy with this planet. It's worked out quite well. So I then copied all this over and placed it in the ice section near the mountains. So just keep watching and you'll see what I mean. And yeah, that basically concludes this section of the ride. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not too long. It's kind of straight to the point. It didn't really need to be too long to kind of show what planet it was. However, in the next video, I'm going to be tackling the Ghostly Galaxy, which I've kind of made it a gigantic area. So I'm trying to figure out what to do to actually fill up that section of the ride. But we do pass Boulder Gust, I think that's his name, the rock-like tree-looking boss that we fight, and then we do go inside the actual mansion where Luigi is trapped and we have to save him. So that's all going to be there, but there's a lot of other stuff in between that I'm trying to figure out, like, oh, what can I add here? But I'll figure it out. I have some stuff up my sleeve, hopefully it will work. And at this point, I will leave you all with the rest of the video. I hope you enjoy it. And as usual, there are some cinematic shots at the very end. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.